Since winning the in-season tournament, the Lakers have been embarrassing.
I mean, we just suck right now.
They were just 5-11 since then and just got humiliated by the severely underachieving Phoenix Suns. Even though they beat a red-hot Clippers team, they also couldn't beat the Heat without Jimmy Butler. This team that was in the conference finals just last year, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis being healthy enough to combine for only 5 missed games this year, they shouldn't be so bad, right? But here we are. Why? Darvin Ham has taken a lot of heat for this. There are things I would like for him to do better, like figuring out his rotations at this point in the season, or against the Heat, not attacking the middle with Anthony Davis more against their zone, or not going to him in general in the second half when he's having a great game. But that said, this roster just isn't good enough no matter who's coaching. We even got a report from Shams Charania that Ham has lost the locker room, and from watching the games, I can see it in their body language a lot of the time. That said though, there is only so much a coach can do when you have a roster construction problem like the Lakers have. This team doesn't have a lockdown defender outside of Anthony Davis, who they depend on way too much. As great as he is, he's only one guy. They're also the second worst three-point shooting team in the league, and history tells us LeBron needs shooters around him because of his ball-dominant play style. First, I want to start with LeBron, who, as amazing as he is at 39, let's be honest, he's too old to be as heavily relied on as he is. LeBron fans who want to be defensive, no, I'm not hating. He's one of the greatest players of all time. This is just what happens when you're the oldest active player in the NBA. Last year when the team had their roster overhaul and the role players were doing a lot better, LeBron was able to sacrifice some of his scoring and put more effort in on the defensive end. Now the team needs him to score, play make, close, and defend. And that's a lot to ask for of a 39-year-old, even if it's LeBron James. At this stage of his career, he's better off as a third option on a team trying to win a championship. Now on to Austin Reaves. He looked like the third best player on the team during last year's playoffs. He shot the three exceptionally well last year, but this year he's not even close to as consistent, and he gets cooked all the time on defense. What him and me need to do is start D'Angelo Russell again over Austin Reaves, because D'Lo is a significantly better passer than Reaves, who tends to have tunnel vision. Have Reaves lead the second unit again. Maybe this can boost D'Lo's confidence on offense too, since he seems to have lost that this year. D'Lo's future with the team is uncertain right now, but while he's still on the team, I think this is just what the Lakers should do. Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt were essential to the team's conference finals run last year. Hachimura was able to contribute on both ends, mostly while coming off the bench, and Vanderbilt was excellent on defense. This year, injuries have caused them to not have the same impact that they did last year. Even when Vanderbilt is healthy, as great as his defense was last year, he's always been very limited offensively, and there's a very good reason why opposing teams leave him wide open on his three-point attempts. Having Cam Reddish as a guy who's only ever been in and out of rotations his whole career to be a starter on a team trying to win a championship is just too big of a leap for him. He's too much of a liability on offense to be starting. He's had 6 games this year with 0 points, and although I wouldn't consider him a terrible defender by any means, and defense is why he's starting, he's not a lockdown defender. Taurean Prince is not a high enough IQ player to start for a team trying to win a championship. He's in his 8th season now, so at this point, it's pretty hard to make him a better decision maker. He's only ever been a full-time starter on some bad teams. He's shooting well from 3 overall, but his shot selection is not good, and his percentages show for that, as he's only shooting 42% from the field, and his 57% true shooting percentage, especially for a three-point shooter when that's a stat that favors three-point shooters, isn't good. He's fine as a depth guy, being a big body who can shoot, which is what I anticipated that his role would be when he was brought in, but he cannot be a starter on a championship team. What else is there that Darvin Ham can't be blamed for? I don't really know what he can do to make Jalen Hood-Schifino be more reliable. For the Lakers to draft him over a high Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's had an immediate impact on the Heat, is more of a bad look on the front office and scouting department. Another big mistake by the front office that Darvin Ham can't be blamed for was letting Dennis Schroeder go and replacing him with Gabe Vincent. Vincent's been injured and wasn't even productive when he has been healthy. Schroeder can really provide offense for the second unit, and he's an excellent defender. Gabe Vincent's size was supposed to make him an upgrade over Schroeder, but that hasn't been the case at all, as Schroeder is averaging 14 points per game for the Raptors right now, while Gabe Vincent hasn't even sniffed 10 points per game, even when healthy. First, Kendrick Nunn, who was supposed to be a fountain of youth on a team that was old 2 years ago, only to bang his knee into a coffee table and miss the whole season. Now there's Gabe Vincent. A note to Rob Pelinka: please don't go after anyone who the Miami Heat let walk, even if they look like a decent role player for the Heat. Consider it a trap. I think the Lakers at this point are better off rebuilding, and I believe their championship window closed as soon as they made the trade for Russell Westbrook in the 2021 offseason. I know the Lakers won't rebuild though, because they just gave Anthony Davis an extension and LeBron's under contract for 1 more year. I thought going into this season with continuity from last year and a few minor changes over gutting the team's depth for another star would be for the better with the Lakers, but maybe this is just my PTSD from the Russell Westbrook experiment and also the failed 2013 super team. I never thought this team could win a championship, but I certainly didn't anticipate this bad at this point, because it's very clear that what this team has now isn't good enough. So to give the Lakers their best chance at winning a championship, I think a trade for Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso may be necessary. Caruso will give the Lakers a much needed lockdown defender, and LaVine could give LeBron less of a scoring load. LaVine won't help the Lakers' defensive problems, but it's not like D'Angelo Russell has done well on either end of the floor for this team in the last month anyways. Austin Reaves probably isn't any better defensively than LaVine, and LaVine is way better than anyone on this team offensively that's not named Anthony Davis or LeBron James. As for Caruso, not only has he won a championship with LeBron and AD before, he's a much improved outside shooter from back then. Every team trying to win a championship should absolutely make a push for Alex Caruso. I'd also want to go after Taurean Finney-Smith for his defense due to his 7-foot wingspan, and he's shooting 40% from 3 this year. There's also been a lot of talk about DeJounte Murray, who the Hawks are actively looking to trade, and he's a good player. He's averaging 20 points per game. He won't move the needle for them though, because he hasn't been as good defensively as he once was since he tore his ACL in 2018. I'm just really not so sure that he's really the guy the Lakers need to turn this around. But sure, he's a lot better than D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reaves are. Now, I do just want to be clear that there are things I would like for Darvin Ham to do better. He's not getting any passes from me for things like not figuring out his rotations at this point in the season, or not attacking the middle with Anthony Davis more against the Heat's zone defense, which James Worthy and Stu Lance were calling out. Or in general, Ham doesn't go to AD enough in the second half when he's having a great game, and Max Christie deserves more minutes than Cam Reddish. Even if Christie's not great offensively, he's still better than Reddish is, and is one of the better point of attack defenders on this team. Or the worst thing about Darvin Ham, making excuses about your team's health when your 2 best players have been healthy and you lost to the Miami Heat without their best player. That said, I still don't believe this roster is good enough to be better than a first round exit no matter who's coaching. Now, if the Lakers fire Darvin Ham, I don't think it'd be a huge mistake because of the things I wish he would do better that I just mentioned. I don't think it'd make this team a contender either though, because of the makeup of this roster. Maybe a new voice can re-energize this team, but a new coach won't make LeBron any younger, or Jared Vanderbilt or Cam Reddish capable of shooting the ball, or Taurean Prince to be a better decision maker, and I really doubt he'll make Austin Reaves any better defensively. So one more thing before I wrap this up, please take that in-season tournament banner down. Argue with Adam Silver about it if he forced you to do it. For one of the most storied franchises in all of American sports to be hanging that, especially after Kobe has said that,
this franchise does not hang division banners. It does not hang conference championships. We hang one banner and one banner only, and that's NBA titles. Right? So you have to start there. You have to understand that that's what this is. And you may not like it. You may think it sucks. You may think it's not great sportsmanship. Get over it. It is what it is. It's a city of champions for a reason.
Like, how is that in-season tournament banner more worthy of being hung in the rafters than a division title or a conference title? Come on, the only prize for it is money, which you guys have more than enough of anyways. It's even more cringeworthy now when this team has been so bad since winning that thing, and I hated the idea of raising that banner from the beginning, and I know I'm not alone on this, so please take it down. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like. Also, if you want to see more, feel free to consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. I'd love to have you as part of the team, and if you're already subscribed, thank you as always. Also, please comment what you think the Lakers need to do. If they should fire Darvin Ham or just completely blow this thing up, or who you think they should trade for to bolster this roster. Love to hear your thoughts. So links to my social media are down below. If you'd like to see my most recent video and the one that YouTube recommends, both are up above. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully better days are ahead for the Lakers.